So the AC in this car doesn't work. Doesn't blow cold at all. First thing I'm gonna try is to recharge it. So let's hook up the machine and see how much pressure it has and if it needs to be recharged. So it looks like the car has some pressure, but I'm gonna vacuum it all out just so I'll know for sure exactly how much Freon is in it. And then I'll charge the exact amount, which is 2.2 pounds. And then we'll try the AC again and hopefully it'll work good. Let's do 15 minutes. We'll see if it holds vacuum as well. It should, because it has pressure. So it held vacuum, no leaks. I'm gonna charge it now. 2.2. We'll see what happens. No leaks so far. Alright, let's try out the AC now. So the AC is still not blowing cold. Gotta look further and see what's wrong with it. So I was messing with the AC system and I noticed that the AC compressor wasn't spinning. And then I ran a wire to that first pin right there. That's the clutch activator, or the positive. And I ran 12 volts straight to it and you could hear it click. So the clutch was working. But then when I started the car and ran 12 volts to it, it would click and then shut, like it wouldn't spin, causing the car to stall. So the clutch is seized, I need to replace the clutch. But I also checked the wires here, and none of them were getting any power. So I'm also gonna order these switches here and replace these switches. And then I'm gonna replace the dryer and pretty much replace everything. I don't need to replace any lines because it holds Freon. And then I'm hoping the AC issue will be solved. So yeah, that's what I did so far. So what you got to do is remove the fan shroud. It's just on 2 clips on the top. Then you could pull it out in 2 separate pieces. And then take off the belt. The tensioner is back here. This is a 94 model, so it's an older style. It's 13 mil. Just loosen that and then pop the belt off. Then there's a 6 millimeter Allen bolt right here. Take that off, and then you could pop these lines off. And now you can jack up the car and go underneath it to take the rest of the 4 bolts out and take the compressor out underneath. So once you remove your splash shield, You can see there's the AC compressor, really easy to get to. These are 13 mil, 13 mil bolts. Just take those off and the compressor will come right out from the bottom. So I got my parts from FCP Euro. So here's the old one out next to the new one. Before you put the new one in, open this right here and make sure it has oil inside of the compressor. So as you can see, it started dripping out oil. So there is oil in this compressor. I'm gonna go ahead and put it back in. So I hung up the compressor on one bolt, and then I went back up here and tightened these hoses because it's a little easier to put on when they're not all tight. The compressor's not tight and those lines aren't tight. And then I also put on the connector. Now I'm gonna go underneath and tighten all the 413 bolts. So once you get the belt back on, the way this tensioner works is when you put in the little hole and you loosen, it loosens the power steering pump and makes it so you could put the belt on. And make sure you loosen the bolt on the power steering. It's 10 Allen key. Loosen that bolt and then start loosening this, and power steering pump will go down and it'll make you be able to put on the belt. And then tighten this one up first. And then tighten, once that's tight, then tighten the Allen on the bottom. After you got those tight and your belt feels tight, it's recommended to replace the dryer whenever you replace the compressor, just to make sure that the filter's clean and doesn't ruin your new compressor. And I'm also going to be replacing these switches. It's pretty basic, just take off these lines, take off the switches, unbolts right here, and unbolt right there under the wires. Dryer will come out, and then you replace the sensors, put the lines back on, replace the O-rings on these lines as well, and then it should be done. So this is the new dryer here with the two new switches. There's these little O-rings that go on the lines here. Highly recommend to replace these as well. So I got everything hooked up back onto the dryer on the AC compressor. I'm gonna hook up the charge lines and I'm gonna do a vacuum just to make sure that it holds vacuum before I charge any Freon into it. I'm gonna do 15 minutes and we'll see if it holds. So it's holding vacuum pretty well. I'm gonna charge it. So it took 2.2 pounds. Now we're gonna start it up, turn the AC on, and hope the compressor turns on. AC all the way. Let's see if the compressor's on. As you can see, the compressor is spinning. So the compressor is on now. AC should be working. Oh yeah, it's blowing ice cold. Ice cold. So there you go. That's how you fix your AC. Oh yeah, it's ice cold. Nice.